and welcome to the Newsbrief GSN for April 11th, 2025. It's the week before Holy Week, and we're getting really close to these holiest of days. Very exciting to celebrate these days. This is my second time recording this news because my first time through I was all scattered. So I'm going to try to do this a little bit more organized this time. And what I forgot to announce also is our big fundraiser, Emerald Evening. Emerald Evening is coming up the week after Easter. So it's right around the corner and ticket sales are down. So maybe you just haven't had a chance to get your tickets yet, but get those tickets, help support our parish and our school. It's a wonderful opportunity. So I got my ticket yesterday. I was delayed, so I get it, but let's make it happen. Emerald Evening, look, it's green. So please consider helping out with our parish. And just a word of thanks too. I talked about our finances last week, and I am grateful for the response that we've gotten. It's good. We could use some more response, but I am grateful that people have taken the invitation to consider what they can do for our parish. They've taken it seriously. So thank you for that. So Emerald Evening, it's Friday, April 22nd, I think. Maybe a little bit later than that. Here's the date. All right, now on to the rest of the news. So what is happening in our parish? Well, let's start first with Palm Sunday. Okay, so Palm Sunday, we have the procession of the palms, that several celebration. It's going to be a little bit different in each Mass. At the 5 o'clock evening, Saturday evening Mass, there will be just Mass as normal, blessing of palms, and then Mass as normal. The 8 o'clock Mass, we will start in the narthex with the proclamation of the first gospel with Jesus arriving into Jerusalem, blessing of the palms, and then enter into the church. At the 10 o'clock Mass, we will begin in the gym, and then we will have the proclamation of the gospel, blessing of the palms, with the procession into the church. We'll do that same thing for the 12:30 Mass as well. And then the 4 o'clock Mass will be like the 5 o'clock, just the simple entrance. So there are three options for Palm Sunday: simple, solemn, and then solemn with procession. So we are doing all three of those options at the different Masses. It says in the books that we're not supposed to really repeat the procession, but we're going to repeat it once because we have the two communities, English and Spanish. So we're going to do it once for the English community and once for the Spanish community, 10 and 12:30. That's what we've done for the past several years. So that's Palm Sunday. Let me just go to the next. Well, let me talk about then on Palm Sunday as well, confession services. So these are the last opportunity for confession services. So at 3 o'clock at John Paul II and at WIA, and then at 7 o'clock at Nativity. So those are the last time for the penance services. Nativity used to be a really huge penance service, and it hasn't been huge for the past couple of years. Back when I was first at Curie of Ars, that was the big one because everyone was waiting to the last minute to go to confession, I guess. And it used to be apparently kind of a zoo. I usually got assigned to a different one, but Nativity is the last call for the penance services. That is this Sunday, Palm Sunday. Now, the last call for confessions before Easter is Wednesday evening. Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock. We do not have confessions on Holy Thursday at 5 o'clock, which we normally do. But we have our last call for confessions is at 6 o'clock on Wednesday evening. Father Mercerman and I are committed to being here until the last person comes, which theoretically the time goes from 6 to 7. So if there's nobody here at 7:02, well, we'll close up. But likely there'll be a pretty long line, and we'll likely be there until 8:30 or so. Maybe longer, depending on how many people come. But it's usually a pretty long evening because people like to wait till the last minute, or they just haven't got a chance to, and there they are. So remember, no confessions on Holy Thursday. On Holy Thursday, then, we have our Mass at 7 p.m. It's a bilingual Mass. It's a beautiful celebration, washing of the feet, procession of the Eucharist. Great celebration. It's going to be a beautiful celebration. And then 7 o'clock on Good Friday, bilingual service. Same time, also bilingual. That's the veneration of the cross. I always say that's one of my favorite things, and the one of the things that Good Shepherd does better than just about any parish is that veneration of the cross. It is so powerful. I say it every year, how powerful it is to see people coming from all angles to venerate the cross, from all different walks of life, English, Spanish, young, old, male, female, all coming to Jesus and reverencing that cross that is the cross, the crucifix that hangs then for the rest of the year. And we can look at that cross and say, I kissed that cross. I think it's just spectacular and moving. So that is Good Friday. Also on Good Friday, don't forget there's a couple other opportunities. There's the 3 o'clock Stations of the Cross in English, and then there's the 5 o'clock stations in Spanish. The 5 o'clock, 3 o'clock is lovely too, but it's the standard stations, but it's powerful to do it at the hour that Jesus died, that we remember that Jesus died. Very powerful. But also very powerful at the 5 o'clock it's the one that is outside. We start in the gym and then we go outside, and we have people that have been practicing for weeks, putting this together, a live presentation with the costumes and everything. It's very powerful, mostly in Spanish, but most of us know the Stations of the Cross anyway, and it's really powerful and moving to see our parishioners, most of whom I know, in these roles. So very powerful. That's at 5 o'clock. And then we follow up with the 7 o'clock bilingual service. Easter Saturday or Holy Saturday rather, is Mass at 8 o'clock. Remember, of course, no 3:30 confessions, no 5 o'clock Mass. 8 o'clock is the vigil for Easter. So that is a lovely celebration. I believe we have 27 people receiving sacraments, various combinations of baptism, confirmation, and First Communion. Some just baptism, some baptism, First Communion, some just confirmation. So it's all this kind of combination of different sacraments. But it should be a really beautiful celebration. We have all those beautiful readings taking us through the history of salvation. It's great. So that's Saturday. And then Easter Sunday, we have, don't forget that there's a change in the Mass schedule. So 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 11 o'clock, and then 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. There is not an 8 o'clock Mass. There is not a 10 o'clock Mass. If you come to one of those times, you're either really late or really early, because it's 7, 9, and 11, 1, and 4. I'm really happy that we have our 4 o'clock Mass. We're one of the few Masses in town or churches in town that has a evening Mass on Sunday. Most places that have an evening Mass on Sunday cancel it for Easter Sunday. That's pretty typical. But I made a commitment when I came here to let's do it. And I had several people comment that were nurses or other people that never could come on Easter Sunday morning. They were able to come on Easter Sunday, and it was very meaningful that they could actually come to Mass because they had to work before and they couldn't get out of it. So, and if you want a calmer Mass, that will be a calmer Mass because it's not a very crowded Mass. Like the 7, 9, 11 will likely be, a little more elbow room. So that's another option for you. So I think that's what's happening with Holy Week. The next Sunday is Divine Mercy. So we just go right into the next thing. That's a huge feast as well. We have our 2 o'clock service. We'll have confessions there, adoration, prayers. That's all beautiful. So that's Holy Week in a nutshell. A few other things of note. Tonight is our last fish fry in Stations of the Cross before Good Friday. So if you want to come to that, tonight's the last chance to get that delicious fish. I also forgot to mention on Holy Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, there is the Easter egg hunt put on by the Service Club, and that is for grades 3rd grade and below. And I think it goes from about 10 o'clock to 10:07 or so. Just, they go out and the eggs are found. So that is on the back area by the playground. And I think that is pretty much it, all I have to say today. I look forward to this week every year, of course. It's a beautiful, powerful week. Hey, we got new news of a bishop. How about that? That's pretty exciting. So Bishop Sean McKnight, our new bishop, that'll be installed on May 27th. So that is very exciting. And I've never met him. There was a press conference on Tuesday, but I had a doctor's appointment, so I couldn't go. And you know how hard it is to get in a doctor's appointment, so I didn't want to cancel my doctor's appointment. So I'll get to meet him eventually. I look forward to him. Seems like a nice enough guy. I liked his responses. I watched the press conference on Facebook. And yeah, look forward to meeting him and working with him. I'm grateful to Archbishop Naumann for all he has done for our archdiocese. I'm the second to last class that was not ordained by him. I was ordained by Archbishop Kelleher in 2003. But I was the last class that did not have him present, because he was the coadjutor bishop at that time in 2004. So he was present for those ordinations as well. I'll always remember Archbishop Jim's prayer when he said, "Do you promise obedience to me and to my successors?" And he kind of said, "And my successor who is sitting not very far away from me." It was a great Archbishop Jim moment. So, but we welcome Archbishop Sean McKnight here when he arrives in May. So that was an exciting announcement this week. And then my schedule for this weekend is I have the 10, the 12:30, and the 4 for Palm Sunday. So I hope that everybody has a blessed week, and I'll probably do something at some point next week for another GSM, just to remind people about Easter schedule and everything. So have a great week. We'll see you next time.